Welcome back, Hillman TikTok students. It's week 3 of Intro to AAVE. I'm your instructor, Shakima Funches, and this week we're going to be moving beyond pronunciation and phonology to explore the grammar of AAVE. Specifically, we're going to be looking at syntax, morphology, and mood markers. The key to understanding AAV is to demonstrating that it is a systematic and rule-governed based language dialect. And so we're going to be jumping into some very specific things to show that and illustrate that it is a linguistic system that has its own phonology or sound, lexicon or vocabulary, and then today we're going to be discussing the grammar features of it. Understanding this is crucial to us moving away from deficit perspectives that AAV is incorrect or inferior and having a better understanding of recognizing its validity as well as richness. Let's first start by defining grammar. In a linguistic context, grammar is a system of rules that governs how words are combined to form meaningful sentences in a language. It encompasses several components that we're going to be focusing on today, 3 of them being syntax, morphology, and mood markers. Below you'll see, or above to the left of me, you'll see our lesson map that has a few important definitions that are related to today's lesson. Give me a minute to look that over before we move forward. And honestly, this is just touching on just the surface is what we'll be discussing. The additional readings will help with a deeper understanding. Syntax is the study of sentence structure and how the words arranged to create phrases and sentences have distinct features. And in AAVE, they differ from Standard American English, also known as SAE. It's important to note that these differences are not random errors or random in general, that they do have a very formal and standardized application. One of the most well-known syntactic features of AAV is going to be the copulation that we spoke about in previous classes. Also known as zero copula, the copulation is when the form of the verb to be, like is, are, was, am, are deleted, and in certain contexts, they will be contractible in Standard American English, so such as he is running now would become he running. They are nice become they nice. Copulation, again, is not random. The case of research investigates that the copulation is permissible and where it is not based on historical origins of this feature, and that the grammatical traits are actually a carryover. Um, so, for instance, no one at AEV would be saying he runneth not, because the correction for that is he is not running or he runneth. The formation of the deletion is subsequently, and its alternative, standardized. Another important syntactic feature is going to be the habitual be that we see that expresses actions such as recurring, not just happening at the moment, but is habitual to generation. So, for instance, you'll see he be working to convey someone as hardworking, but may not be temporally at work right now. The beauty of AAV is that these inflections and other situational contexts can be added to the conversation's understanding without adding additional sentences. These stress and emphasis are based on the formation of the sentences. So another thing to look at is the topicalization of it. Double negation is another striking feature that helps reinforce meaning. So when you look at that boy, he funny, where the subject has been restated to emphasize, he's hilarious. Double negation, like I said, is also, and we'll talk about that a little bit further as well. Morphology is the study of word structure. It's how the words are formed, and then the internal structure of those words and how that influences meaning. In AAVE, a unique feature is the absence of the third person singular on verbs or that reduced inflection in the present tense. So, for instance, my brother plays games instead of plays would be my brother play games. This is a consistent pattern in AAVE and it impacts flow and ease. Another notable feature is going to be that invariant been for remote and past. So in AAVE, been is used to express the remote past or something that happened a long time ago, but is still relevant to the present. So in Standard American English, you would say, this person has been sick for a long time. In AAVE, you would use she been sick. Emphasizing that the long duration, is continuously relevant to the sickness as in present time. Similarly, there are sentences and structures such as, they known each other for years, turning into they've been known each other. The been signifies a long-standing relationship. Invariant been is a distinct carryover from standard American English where you wouldn't see that in the perfect tense. AAVE has been carries a specific meaning of verbal past as well as ongoing relevance. So you still get things such as, we've been friends. I've been seeing that. Another thing is the phonological reductions where running becomes running. And we had also spoken about that in previous class. She eats breakfast every day. She eat breakfast. My brother, well, I already said that. My brother plays games and he sing beautiful. Mood markers in grammar. The mood refers to the specific speaker's attitude or perspective that they try to convey in their words and actions when they express the verb. So it can convey certainty, possibility, desire, obligation, so on and so forth. Expectual markers, such as the habitual be, indicate regularity, and markers like fixin or fitna have a signal to future intent. One of the things you'll see is where come is used right before a verb of indignation. So AAV uses the come verb to express indignation or disbelief in often responses where they see things as unexpected or unfair. So for instance, someone asks you for money and then he gonna come asking me for more, or he gonna come telling me what to do, and it expresses the indignation and disbelief that he would even do that. So like he has the nerve to tell me what to do. He has the nerve to request more money when he owes me money. How dare he? And that come, just adding that mere presence to the sentence, relays all of that passion and emotion. And so the come here isn't physical arrival. It's more of a grammatical mood marker of the mood. For instance, steady is used for continuous and intensive. So AAV will use steady to express continuous or intensive actions, such as emphasizing the ongoing or present nature of something. So she's steady saving them. Means she's diligently working at her job, holding them all up. Steady emphasis on the continuous nature of that work. They steady complaining. It's the mood marker that adds the nuance of an expressiveness that you'll see in AAV that you might not see as much in standard American English. The modular variant includes the use of 8 as a multifunctional marker. And if you ever see in black units of time, you can understand that. So, for example, 8 is incredibly versatile. It conveys negation, contraction, a module marker. It can add emphasis. I ain't fitting to do that. I ain't coming there. It can express possibility or capability. They could come over. They ain't gonna come over. When interpreting AV, you have to pay attention to the surrounding words to influence the situation and the speaker's intent. Misunderstandings arise when you apply standard American English grammatical rules to AAVE, because in AAVE, the mood markers don't just convey tense, but they also convey the nuance of mood and aspect. This week we just scratched the surface, as I said, on AV grammar, covered a lot of ground very quickly, just diving briefly into syntax, into morphology, into mood markers and module construction. The research that I'll provide on the website will help explore more, including verb tenses, negation, and other fascinating aspects that you can find in AAVE. In the coming weeks, I ask you to take on those additional readings to build on the foundation that we discussed in class or in TikTok, and further increase your appreciation of the complexity and richness of AAVE. The links for this particular class and reading will be available on my website, adventuresinzen.com, tomorrow, 2/7 by 5 p.m. In the meantime, feel free to ask any questions about the features that we discussed. I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts, and, any questions regarding the class. Remember, there are no wrong questions. I just want engagement. I do thank you for your attention today and the previous weeks, and I would request that you guys just be kind to yourself and others. Hydrate, protect your edges. As always, stay black.